Hello and welcome to the video lecture on the update statement. So this is another one of our DML commands. We are going to use this command to manipulate existing data. So the update statement modifies data in existing rows. And our example here is we want to update the product table. We want to set the product standard price value equal to $775 where the product ID equals 7, right? So just the way this works for other commands works the same here. So we've got the update, what table is being updated, right? So update the table. Set is the keyword that says what are we changing, and that can be a comma delimited list of different things to change. And I'll do that example in just a second. And then the where clause. So if there's no where clause, all of the product standard prices will be changed to $775. In this case, we're only changing one. We know we're only changing one because we know the product ID in the product table is the primary key. So if we equate that to a value, the only result could be that we would update one row. Okay, so let's go into the example. Let's open up Microsoft Access. Once again, we're going to go to the Create tab. I'm going to click on Query Design. We are going to close this Show Table dialog box because we don't need it. I'm going to go back up to the ribbon and click on SQL to open up an SQL window. And then we're going to shrink this down because we don't need it nearly that big. We're working on the product table. So here's the product T table. Again, since I don't want to be messing with real life data, I am going to make a copy of this. So if I right click on the product table, I'm going to copy. And then if I right click on a blank area and paste, you get the dialog box that says paste table as, and I'm going to leave this just as the product table. I want to copy the structure and the data. I'm going to click OK. So now I want to make sure that I'm messing just with the product table. I'll crush this down so it doesn't take up so much room. And I am not going to be doing selecting. I am going to be updating. So I am updating the product table. Again, I don't want to use product underscore T because that is my original table that I don't want to mess with. I want to update product. I want to set the product standard price equal to $775. Now if I leave it just like that, right, and I click run, it's going to tell me that I'm updating 8 rows, right? So there are 8 rows. I have no where clause. That means I'm going to change all the product standard prices to $775. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to click no. And I'm going to put in my where clause, where product ID equals 7. Okay, so again, product ID is the primary key. I equate that to a value. So if that value actually exists, I know that there can only be one record that has that value. So when I click update, so when I click run on this update statement, it's going to tell me about to update a row. I click yes. When I click on the table, I see that dining table natural ash is now $775. If I want to change that, make it $500. I go back to the query. I would set my product standard price equal to $500. I run that. I'm about to update a row. Yes. Go back. And there it is. Now it's $500. So far, so good. Okay. So perhaps the dining table is no longer in product line 2. Maybe it's now in product line 1. So let's change 2 things at the same time. So I want to change the product standard price to $450. Then I'm going to have a comma, and I'm going to give myself a line feed. And I'm going to change the product line ID, I'm going to set that equal to 1. Okay, so now what I'm expecting after I run this statement is that the product standard price for number 7 is going to change to $450, and the product line ID is going to go from 2 to 1. All right, and just by putting in that comment, I can have as many comments as I want. I can change as many columns as I want all at the same time. So I'm going to click run. I'm about to update one row, which is good. And now when I go back in, there it is, $450 and 1. So again, if I get rid of my where clause, or I forget to put in my where clause, that's why these warnings are good. You're about to update 8 rows and oh my god. That should give you a warning to let you know that you should hit no. But if I hit yes, poof, just like that, all the product standard prices are $450, all the product lines are 1. That could be really, really bad in a job scenario to do something like that. So we're done with the product table. We are done with our query window. We can close that. We don't need to save it. I'm going to hit the chevron to close up the tables list. I'm going to leave Microsoft Access ready for me to use in another video. And that is the end of the update statement.